A top WWE Tag Team star is to get a singles push. Plus, an indie promotion has been slammed for falsely advertising ex-WWE talent. And a New Japan star genuinely upset about not being booked for Forbidden Door. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Take Tez to the top, Table 8 Titan types, as Montez Ford is being heavily discussed as a potential guy. Like a top guy.
It's been talked about for a
WWE.
while, but it appears that it might be coming sooner rather than later. Brian Alvarez noting that SmackDown commentary alluded to Montez's new physique and how much bigger and stronger he was. They also mentioned how commentary discussed rumors that Ford and Dawkins hadn't been getting along lately. Then Dave Meltzer added to this, I know that there's people in WWE who want to push Ford as a singles guy. There's people who are very high on him right now, especially with his new physique. He is looking magnificent, Tom.
He is looking great. And as you say, for the longest time, we've seen Montez Ford in action and gone, he's just a future
WWE champion.
Star.
The star quality about that man. I always feel a bit bad for old Angelo because he never really gets included in the discussion. But there's something really special about Ford. Do you think that you've seen enough of the Street Profits as a tag team?
I think we're winding up now. I don't know what more you can do.
They have really done it all, haven't they? I love them together. I feel like, and it feels like maybe it is a waste of Montez, but I feel that there's such good value together. I remember being at the house show, and I always focus on what really works at house shows. New Day had it down to a T. Mysterio had it, or has it. Jeff Hardy had it. Anybody who can really get the crowd massively behind them, get the crowd hot, especially as an opening act on a house show, that's a really valuable skill to have. And Street Profits absolutely have that. So I'd be a little bit sad, but I also don't want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, Montez should be held back, because he is future world champ material. I really believe that.
One thing they talk about on Wrestling Observer Live as well is, as we say, Angelo Dawkins and sort of what would become of him, sort of the concerns that should Montez Ford, rise to the top, where does Angelo Dawkins fit in all of that? I mean, you potentially do a split with the Street Profits that leads to a series of matches, so you can easily put Ford and Dawkins against each other, but then after that, when the inevitable happens and Ford rises through the ranks, what becomes of Angelo Dawkins?
That's the thing, isn't it? You don't want to like Enzo and Big Casson.
No. Marty and Shornham.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And great example.
I think it would be a real shame for... No, you can't hold Montez back. He is that good. The other thing is that Angelo has improved greatly. I find him really, really likable. But the predictable thing, you're right, is for Angelo to turn on Montez, and after that, who knows?
Could you potentially do it as Ford turning on Dawkins and having a heel Montez Ford?
Yeah, you could. It'd be interesting to see him in that role, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you sort of do it that way, so you have Ford as the bad guy, annoyed at, or whether or not people would immediately just want to cheer Montez Ford.
Because he is that good.
He is very, very good. He's very, very good. One to keep an eye on. This weekend, we talked about this yesterday, sir.
Buzzing this is in there.
Wes in Nottingham. This is the wrestling show, the major indie show that's featuring Alistair Overeem, Moose, Lena Fanene.
Nope.
Or is it?
Not Lena Fanene.
Or is it? We'll get to it. At least they're advertising all these people. There's posters with all these people's faces all over them. Lena Fanene, however, she pulled out of the show a few weeks back, said she was no longer available for the date. However, she's still being featured front and center of all the advertising and the posters and stuff.
Yeah, so they're tweeting out these graphics showing heaps and heaps of wrestlers, big names on there. She tweeted yesterday, I do not know why I'm still on this poster, but I will repeat myself again. I will not be at the show. It's very Christian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Please do not buy a ticket thinking you will see me perform or get a chance to meet me. I hate that this misleads people. And that's, fair play to her, because it's not on sticking somebody on the poster. It's not difficult to delete that layer or whatever in Photoshop, is it?
Absolutely not. But this follows, as we talked about yesterday, Matt Rowalt announcing that he hadn't been approached with any travel or accommodation arrangements, nor overtures for payment, having been ghosted by promotion. This comes after he and Tom Hannifan were announced as the commentary team for Saturday. And according to Matt, he's heard nothing. And it's a weird one, because I've spoken to a few people who have been booked, and the general feel, I think, is that this show is not happening, but they've not been told yet.
Mojo's in the country now.
So he's here.
Well, he did an Instagram story. I don't know if he's in the country. He's at the airport. 10 hours ago, he was at the airport. So the travel seems to have been sorted. Mojo is on his way to London. I don't think he's visiting London for a laugh. I think he's popping up to Nottingham on Sunday. I'm desperate to go now, Tom. Legit, I've got plans on Sunday. I want to see how this all plays out. I'm going to watch it on Fight, that's for sure.
Yeah,
if
so
it happens.
If it happens, and we emphasise the if it happens, WES, somebody pointed this out to me. They've turned off comments on their YouTube channel. I don't know whether that's...
What have they got to put on YouTube?
There's a couple of videos of there's a couple little video packages showing Moose. I think that's about all they've put.
Oh, I saw that with all the footage from Impact. Yeah. I can't blame them, but they haven't turned off replies to their tweets or anything. If you click through their tweets, it's all just people going like, "I bought tickets for this and I'm really worried. I'm not buying tickets for this because I'm really worried." That sort of stuff.
And then I've seen some people tweeting like, "Can't wait for Saturday. Really up for Saturday. Buzzing for this week."
I hope it happens. Is it Saturday? I thought it was Sunday.
Genuinely hope it happens. Genuinely hope that it does. But you can hopefully understand the trepidation because we're hearing nothing. We by this point, normally with a show like this, we will have had some sort of press contact as well. I'm not saying for tickets, but more just them sending press releases to tell us about the show that we can put on the channel. This is quite common. We get stuff like, I haven't had anything. Is that about you?
No, I'm not.
Nobody tells me nothing. I haven't heard anything about it. But of course, keep an eye on cultaholic.com when we know more. We'll let you know more about it.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is fun. It's the joys of the independent wrestling scene.
And the money that's gone into this. There's a lot of people on there who are going to demand a pretty hefty price for their services. But on top of that, the fact that they're running an arena, what is it, like a 9, 10, 11,000? It's not small.
It's not like the Jubilee Social Club back room, like for an independent show in the North East.
At this rate.
This is like the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham. Like this is a big venue, which is why we talk about it. It features a lot of American talent.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's quite the time. On the subject of wrestlers not or possibly not being booked, we'll end on a bit on Tetsuya Naito, who wrote a blog about Forbidden Door, kind of, and he said, unfortunately, I was not invited to the New Japan AEW Forbidden Door show. It's being talked about all over the place. Not invited equals not needed, right? Because of that frustration, I haven't watched any footage of the show. I'm genuinely upset about it. I'm genuinely upset that Naito wasn't even approached.
Naito was one of the names that I was quite surprised not to see on there. I don't watch a great deal of New Japan, but there are certain people that I see and I just find them very, very captivating, and Naito is certainly one of those. I guess take it with a pinch of salt. He might be building something there, but it's not like a great look, I guess, for New Japan, for him to be going like, I'm not happy about this, or maybe AEW as well. So maybe this will lead to something. I don't know. I
wonder whether it's a case they just didn't have anywhere to put him on the card, because the card was very busy.
The card was very busy, but there was slots there that were filled by lesser talents that he could have taken something there.
Yeah, you could have mixed it up and perhaps done less of the big cluster tag matches and maybe just sort of laser focused in on some singles matches with other people. I don't know whether that would have added another 9 matches to the card already. I don't know.
It was long enough. I'm sad for him, not because he didn't get booked, but because he said, I haven't watched any footage of the show, and it's really good, Naito. So if you are watching, then check it out. It's on Fight. You can watch it now. It's $19.99.
I mean, he's quite a busy guy, so I recommend you check out what happened at Forbidden Door on the YouTube channel, on Cultaholic's YouTube channel, or the WTF moments. I think Naito would just want to get to just all the funny moments.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, love that.
Naito.
That's right up his alley.
At Naito with links to WTF moments from our channel. He'll appreciate that immensely.